there's a bill in D.C. that needs to get passed, hopefully in the next 6 weeks. If that does, I think that'll give crypto a real jolt to the upside. That, and as we get closer, every day we wake up is one day closer to the Fed governor transition.
Hello everyone, this is BTC Insight and welcome to yet another deep dive into BTC Insight. Before we jump in, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. You won't want to miss this.
Mike Novogratz begins his reflection with both pride and perspective. Galaxy Digital's latest quarter wasn't just profitable. It was, in his words, emblematic of 7 years of building trust. For Novogratz, this wasn't an overnight success story. It was the result of patient, deliberate work, building credibility in an industry that's often seen as chaotic and speculative. He sees the company's recent success as a validation of crypto's resilience and of Galaxy's ability to navigate through years of skepticism, crashes, and regulatory hurdles. It felt like 7 years of trying to build trust with our clients and in the markets, he says. And this quarter reflected that trust finally paying off.
$29 billion in revenue, driven by a 140% increase in trading volume. Joining us right now in an exclusive interview is Galaxy founder and CEO Mike Novogratz. Good morning to you. Congratulations on the earnings. I know you've been working at this for quite some time, and it's quite something to behold. Yeah. But it's all happening. It's all happening.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a great quarter, and it felt like the 7 years of trying to build trust with our clients and trust in the markets. It kind of was emblematic in this quarter.
So help us, though. It's all happening, but it's all happening now against this sort of other backdrop, which is we've watched Bitcoin, oddly enough, drop very recently. And I think we're all trying to understand what's going on, how we should be thinking about that in the context of what's happening with gold, in the context of what we think is happening with equities.
Yeah, listen, crypto had a great start to the year, post the sell-off, put in highs, Bitcoin got to 125, and we've had a real consolidation since then. The big deleveraging that happened a week ago, that's not good for markets, right? It wiped out a lot of market makers, means less liquidity. And you can see yesterday we were down and then up 4% and then right back down. And so there's a little less liquidity in the market. It took a lot of retail leverage out of the system. And so the good news is we're less leveraged. The bad news is when Humpty Dumpty breaks, he doesn't get put together right away. It takes a few weeks and sometimes months even for markets to heal itself and regain narrative and regain momentum. I don't think anything fundamentally has changed in the crypto story. Our government continues to spend way more money than they should. And I think as long as the debasement of fiat currencies goes on, crypto is going to be seen and Bitcoin is going to be seen. But, we're in a rangy, softer range right now. And I don't see what changes that. There's a bill in D.C. that needs to get passed, hopefully in the next 6 weeks. If that does, I think that'll give crypto a real jolt to the upside. That, and as we get closer, every day we wake up is one day closer to the Fed governor transition. And, my base case is still we get a much more dovish, malleable Fed governor than we've had in the past.
In terms, though, of the sort of upside downside that you see as a trader in Bitcoin right now, how do you think about it? We've had, obviously, all sorts of folks from Tom Lee and others who've come on and said by the end of the year we could be at $250,000 for this coin. Obviously, others like Kathy Wood have even, more aggressive and optimistic views longer term out. But where are you right this moment?
Yeah, listen, the end of the year is only 2.5 months away. And so there would have to be a heck of a lot of crazy stuff to really get that kind of momentum. I do think, we should hold 100, 100 or somewhere close to that should be the downside. And on the upside, you don't really accelerate until you take out 125. And so the most likely outlook is we're rangy between, 100 and 120 and 125, unless we take out the top side. We could take out the top side if, the president prematurely makes a move on the Fed, which, they could target that easily by the end of the year. And if this bill gets passed, those are the two kind of catalysts I see.
Beyond crypto itself, Novogratz takes a step back to examine the bigger picture, and his analysis becomes even more compelling. He points out that we're living through one of the most politically volatile periods in modern U.S. history. There's polarization at every level. Government shutdowns, partisan gridlock, and an administration that, in his words, is gutting institutions that hold democracy together. At the same time, we have a massive wave of liquidity flooding the system. Government spending, AI-driven investment, and speculative bubbles forming in sectors like private credit and artificial intelligence. This cocktail of factors, he says, makes predicting short-term moves incredibly difficult. Yet, paradoxically, it also creates long-term opportunity. Crypto is both a risk asset and a safe haven, Novogratz explains. It's a hedge against currency debasement, but it also trades like tech stocks when liquidity flows.
Say it won't go below something, Novogratz.
Yeah, because that usually always does.
No, and then I was thinking, I remember I had deja vu, and literally, I think it was at 14,000, and you said it won't go below 10. Do you remember that? I mean, time flies, but and I think but that just shows you what we're talking about for perspective. But
listen, I mean, keep things in perspective. Bitcoin's still a 50 vol asset.
Yeah.
Right. And crypto is like a 60, 70 vol asset class. And so you're to expect big moves in these markets.
Yeah, but it could definitely, so you acknowledge it could easily go below 100 and you wouldn't be surprised.
But I don't think it will, just given the buyers we see and where people seem to care.
Yep. Mike, I think the other question I would just ask, in a broader context, as somebody who just trades the market and looks at leverage and debt in the market, some of the private credit stuff. We've been talking about AI bubbles. How much does that matter to what's going on in crypto land right now?
Oh, it matters a lot. Listen, crypto is both a risk asset and it's a safe haven for debasement of currency. And those things can sound like they're at odds with each other, and in days they are. And so I look at the S&P chart today, we're less than 1% away from an acceleration higher, right? And it feels awfully nervy, and so many traders I know keep wanting to get short and then they get stopped right back out. Just looking at those charts, it looks like stocks are going to end the year much higher. And that could pull crypto up. But we have more political volatility than I've seen almost ever, right? We have a government shutdown. We have two sides that are having a hard time speaking to each other. We've got a president or an administration who campaigned on the fact that they thought all our institutions were corrupt, and they're kind of gutting those institutions as we speak. And you got the other half of the country that says those institutions are what hold democracy together. And so you've got this political volatility on top of tons of liquidity, on top of an AI story, which is powerful. And, so you can look at all those pieces together and they make prediction much more difficult. Would it surprise us if in the next 6 months your book prediction comes true, or the next 18 months? No, every single macro trader would say, yeah, of course that happened after the fact. Predicting when it happens
that's the hard part.
It's the real art.
As we wrap up, Mike Novogratz's perspective offers more than just a market forecast. It's a masterclass in how to think like a professional investor in uncertain times. He reminds us that trust takes time to build, whether it's in markets, institutions, or new technologies. Galaxy Digital's success is a testament to perseverance, 7 years of conviction paying off in one strong quarter. But most importantly, he frames crypto not as a speculative fad, but as a structural response to the world's financial imbalance. As governments overspend and currencies weaken, decentralized systems like Bitcoin represent an alternative, one rooted in transparency, mathematics, and global accessibility.
That's it for today's look into BTC Insight. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to stay on top of all the latest insights. Keep questioning, keep learning, and we'll catch you in the next one.